I think the majority of people have wanted now Bray Wyatt to be back to build a feud for WrestleMania. Guess what? WWE wasted no time this week on WWE Raw. It's happening. This is things you might have missed, but before we get started, I want to say a massive thank you. The channel hit 40,000 subs last night, which is incredible. I really do appreciate it. But if you are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like the video. It really, really helps. Thank you. It's official. WrestleMania. Randy Orton versus The Fiend. But we got some breaking news that happened after Raw. It is taking place on night 2, Sunday night of WrestleMania will be The Fiend versus Randy Orton. Incredible. This is going to be, I think, match of WrestleMania for me. I'm so excited for this. But of course, we got to talk about the fact that's the first render of The Fiend without pink light, without the red light. This is the first time of really looking at the mask. And my God, it looks horrific. You can see how the red, it's almost like veins sort of running on the outside of his body. It looks awful in a good way. I love it. The chest protector looks dirty, brilliant. You can see the rips in like the arms. It looks amazing. It really does. But they did show this graphic quite a lot on Raw. Obviously, Randy Orton was to summon The Fiend on Raw tonight. But notice they used the old image of The Fiend. It does add to that mystery of, will The Fiend go back to his old look? Maybe. We took a trip to Alexa's playground once again on Raw, and of course we saw the rocking horse once again moving by itself, or rocking by itself is a better word. Of course, Alexa warned Randy Orton to be careful what he wishes for, because obviously Randy Orton was to summon The Fiend tonight. Well, that scared the hell out of a lot of people because, my gosh, Alexa's makeup looks incredible. She did the whole let me in thing again in The Fiend's voice. But I was shocked last night when we uploaded things you might have missed that no one actually called on to a little hidden Easter egg that I put on the thumbnail. You can see clearly Alexa Bliss's makeup. It's obviously got white like makeup around her face, and the black eyes really reminds me of the Abby the Witch puppet. It really does. Now, we know the puppets are memories of Bray Wyatt. That's not Sister Abigail. It's Abby the Witch, the way that Bray Wyatt remembers Sister Abigail. Is it possible, therefore, that this is an inspiration for the look that Alexa Bliss is donning recently? It kind of could make sense. We know she's been, AJ Styles' words, been performing witchcraft, voodoo magic stuff. So, maybe. But talking of that magic stuff, we have seen Alexa Bliss in the Firefly Funhouse for weeks with her musical box. No idea what it did. And of course she teased it, saying bring him back. And of course not yet. Well, we saw it tonight on Raw. We got a new angle at it. And if there was any kind of like doubt at all, it's 100% the Fiend's box. Look at the side of it where it says, let me in. Please sell that on WWE shop. WWE. Anyone from WWE, if you listen to this video, I want one. I don't care if it actually plays music or not. I want it. I really do. But this is what emerged from the box when Alexa finished. Of course, the song finished for the first time. And you can see inside it was like a stuck down piece of paper with a pentagram on it. And once again, it was like a Fiend voodoo doll. And it seemingly did summon the Fiend. The Fiend then emerged in the ring. Once again, all 4 turnbuckles on fire. Very, very similar to Kane. I like this because they can say that this is what happened last night. Alexa could have used the box backstage and the Fiend could have hid under the ring the entire time that the match took place. So just because we didn't see it doesn't mean that that didn't happen. I like that. I like the element that you don't have to see everything, but you see it once and it kind of could make sense for a previous occasion or future occasions. One small detail that might be important was the fact Alexa Bliss was the one who pointed to the WrestleMania sign at the end of Raw. Of course, we know the Fiend's capable of doing so. He did so last year with John Cena, but this year it was Alexa Bliss. And it adds into that theory that maybe she's controlling the Fiend, possibly. Technically, she's the one then who made the match for the Fiend versus Orton at WrestleMania. Notice, by the way, there's no mention of a stipulation match. There doesn't seem to be a mention yet of a Firefly Funhouse match or anything like that. But WrestleMania is 19 days away. It's coming around quick. They could definitely add a stipulation if they wanted to. But there was some other matches announced. Of course, we're going to get Asuka versus Rhea Ripley as she made her Raw debut this week, which is incredible. Great way to push Rhea Ripley straight into that main event scene. And of course, Bad Bunny will go one-on-one with The Miz. I'm okay with this. I think it's fine. Bad Bunny does appeal to a large audience. So I think WWE are, of course, going to find him a slot on the card. And that's fine. Another match which was kind of announced was Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. They just haven't made a graphic for it yet. But they have released this poster image, which has got a lot of people excited. Because if you can look on the left, next to Randy Orton is a torch on fire. And it is definitely the Fiend's mask that is inside that fire. Also, look at the skull in the middle at the back. And you can see in the right eye, it's the left eye of the skull, but on the right of your screen, you can see someone stood there. It's Seth Rollins. Praise the Messiah! Now, with the Fiend returning last night, everyone's been asking me, is there any new merchandise that I can buy? No, is the answer. Not in WWE shop, but Topps do have some trading cards available. It is the first official merchandise of the new Fiend. Of course, they are available on Topps website in the US right now. And you can buy a Topps Now trading card of the Fiend and Alexa Bliss. They are $9.99 each, but they are limited to a 7-day sale. So if you want them, you have to purchase them within the next couple of days. Also, I wanted to mention the fact that last night at Fastlane, Alexa Bliss did strike the pose of Randy Orton, the signature pose that Orton does on the turnbuckles. Of course, Randy Orton does that every single time. Alexa mimicked it on her entrance. I didn't mention it last night, but loads of people have contacted me today telling me about it, and I wanted to include it for that reason. Now, here's a perfect example why you don't listen to dirt sheets. Charlotte Flair has tested positive for COVID, and that is the reason why she's currently not at WWE shows. Makes perfect sense. She's tweeted out confirming that, and WWE had Rhea Ripley mention it on the show tonight. Obviously, with everything going on with Andrade being released, the speculation was that she basically blackmailed WWE and forced them to release him. It's not true. But I think everyone will agree with me when we say we hope Charlotte gets well soon. I hope she's back in time for WrestleMania. Because the way Rhea Ripley debuted tonight, I'm pretty confident they're going to be adding Charlotte to the Raw triple threat match possibly at WrestleMania, which I think is okay. I don't mind it too much, especially if Rhea pins Charlotte. Kind of has a Life is a Circle vibe to it. Now, we touched on it earlier, but the fact that the Fiend emerged once again tonight on Raw amongst fire, very similar to Kane. A lot of people are describing this new Fiend as a Kane-like character. And I can understand the comparison. Of course, Monster and Monster. One's definitely used fire in the past. Fiend's using fire now. So it's possible that this Fiend is loosely based on the Kane character. I think it is in respects. I think obviously it's based on a lot of other things from horror films and things like that as well. But it definitely is something to look out for. But Raw this week was eventful. Of course, Randy Orton had gasoline that he tried to pour over the Fiend. Obviously, a sign of desperation from Randy Orton as he once again tried to rid himself of his nightmares of the Fiend. He RKO'd the Fiend directly onto the gasoline. It looked like he might set him on fire again, but it was Alexa Bliss who got into the face of Randy Orton and basically didn't stop him, but he was distracted long enough with Alexa that he didn't notice the Fiend was standing up behind him. And of course, Randy Orton once again suffered the mandible claw. We've seen Randy Orton lose his mind since the last mandible claw. You got to wonder, suffering a second one, and whatever's going to happen on the road to WrestleMania and at WrestleMania, a big change could be coming for the Legend Killer, the Viper, the Apex Predator, Randy Orton. I think it's going to be fun. And that was how we got to the final moments of Raw when Alexa Bliss pointed up at the WrestleMania sign, obviously indicating that match would happen. I think this is a brilliant story. I absolutely love it. And I think the fact that they're using Alexa in this way is so good. Genuinely really, really good. The fact that she seems to be the domineering one, the one that's in control of the Fiend, is impressive because, you know, we don't know if she's Sister Abigail at this stage. Possible at this point, it really is. But we haven't had that addressed yet. So until WWE do, we can't confirm that. But it's something, again, to look out for. But the fact she's controlling him is just super, super cool. Also, major props to Randy Orton. We give props all the time here on things you might have missed. And I want to do it this week for Orton. The guy literally got pinned last night by Alexa Bliss. He didn't have to do that. The way he's putting over this Fiend character is really, really good. It's helping the development of the story no end. And I think it's going to do nothing but add to the WrestleMania match, which I really want to know your thoughts on. Do you think it's going to be a normal match in front of the fans? Or do you think it's going to be a cinematic match? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Of course, like the video, share the video. And if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at CWrestlingUK. If you didn't know, we did do a Things You Might Have Missed special, which you guys completely bullied me into last night on the channel after Fastlane. So that's there as well if you want to see it. It's already up with a lot of details in. And obviously it's appreciated for you guys to check that out as well. But I will see you as always next time. Peace!